Yeah, I want to touch down on a real touchy subject real quick. Um, I just wanted to know what black people was thinking when they decided that it was no longer important to teach their kids black history anymore. I was wondering what they was thinking when checking their Facebook or being at the club or trying to get some rims for their cars, or trying to keep up with the latest fashions became more important than teaching their kids black history. And we wonder why this new generation has no self pride or history, or because we let the public schools raise our children. And that's why they know more about Columbus than they know about black history. Black history is almost a foreign subject to them because they don't know what you're talking about. When you bring it up, they ain't did no kind of studying on it, no text work on it, nothing at all. So when you put a black history book in front of the average young black person, it becomes foreign to them. And that within itself is a shame that we would let it get to the point where a black history book would be foreign to most black children. And we wonder why there's no unity or pride in the race right now. It's not going to kill you to take 5 minutes out of your time or an hour out of your time and teach your kid or get them to be interesting in their own black history. It's not going to kill you to sit down and tell them that this is a very important part of their life, is knowing their history and their background. See, the problem is we as black people got so comfortable, with the point that we think that teaching our kids black history is no longer needed. One thing you never do is drop the ball, and you never put your hands down in the middle of a fight. Black people, we're still in a fight, and we're still in a battle, even though you might not think so because the media got you fooled. But you are still in a battle. It's a secret battle, a battle that you don't see. People in high places plotting your downfall in secret areas and secret places and secret societies. Even though it's not as, visual as it used to be, or up in your face type racism, it is still a backwash racism that I feel is more deadlier than the front up in your face racism, because at least you knew who your enemy was. And now we have an unseen enemy. So that's why I say it's very important that you teach your kids their black history. Man, it's cool. I be out there grinding, doing what I got to do, but I make sure my kids know who they are. We all got to put that bread on that table, and I understand that. But another thing that's important is giving your kids bread. And I'm talking about the bread of life and bread of knowledge, and letting them know where they came from and where they're going, because they won't know where they're going until they know where they came from. So don't be confused when your son walks through the door with a girl and she's not black. Not saying that there's nothing wrong with it, but it will become embedded in their minds that they can care less about coming through the door, with a black girl, and you wonder why. It starts from the bottom. We all, as black people, have a responsibility to teach our children who they are, what color they are, and to teach them their history. Don't send them to a school that's European literature, that's Americanized, Caucasian influenced, and think they're going to come out with a sense of self. You are sending your kids in to be slaughtered off mentally. when you send your children into this Caucasian education without knowing who they is, you are basically setting them up to grow up not knowing or caring less about who they are. So if you want black unity to come back, then you have to do what our grandmothers and great grandmothers did. They taught their children their history. It all starts with history. It's too many black children and black young women and black young men running around here not knowing nothing about their history. Not knowing about Africa, not knowing about the different tribes, not knowing about the queens and the kings of Africa. It's too many. And this is the reason why we're in the situation we're in today. It all starts with pride. It's very easy. If you teach your children who they are and who they supposed to be, then they won't be out there gang banging on each other, shooting at each other and doing the things they doing and mobbing on each other. They won't be doing that because they'll have a sense of pride. They'll have a sense of pride of who they are. And they don't want to kill each other because they say, hey, well, my mama taught me that being black and proud and educated and knowing the history and where I come from is a very important thing. And once they get to know who they are and the very importancy of their existence, then they're not going to want to hurt each other, kill each other, shoot each other, or do anything harmful because they're going to see the value in each other. So I tell you this, each one teach one. Every black person that comes across this video, teach your kids their history. Don't never get to the point where you think that is not important. It done got too big. It's too many of us not teaching our kids their history. Remember, it's very important. It's just as important as it was 200 years ago. It is more important now. Please, black people, black men, black women, black single men, black single women, whoever you are, grandmothers or whatever, teach your kids their history. And I guarantee you, in the next 10 to 15 years, all this black on black violence will come to an end. It all starts with your history. You don't know where you're going until you know where you come from. I love you. Bless.